Hi, my name is Ruth Donnelly from Coachwood Nursery in Somersby, New South Wales, Australia. Here we have some very large advanced succulents. I often get asked, how big is this particular succulent going to grow? Because when you're buying a succulent in a small pot, it's very hard to tell how big exactly it's going to grow. So this gives you an idea of how big some of them are going to get, how tall they get, how bushy they get, and it's quite interesting to see some of them which are starting to come out in flower. This jade plant, Crassula jade, is really gorgeous. It's just starting to open up now. As the weather gets cooler, it will suddenly burst forth, and we've got a very dark pink form of this which flowers reliably every year. This one can be a little bit shy on flowering. People often tell me they've had this for years and it's never been in flower. Sometimes it takes decades for it to come into flower. It's a very interesting plant, and then suddenly everyone's Crassula jade can come into flower at the one time. It's hard to tell, probably more temperature and just climates, different climates and different extremes of climates that change that, but generally it takes a long time for that to come into flower. So it's not unusual if yours never has flowered. So we've got this beautiful Euphorbia fire sticks, which is just facing north here, so it's getting lots and lots of sun. So it's got an intense colour. This is its full sun colour. If I turn that around, you can see how green it is. So you can see that this is a very sun responsive plant. So that's very common for succulents to have that happen. It's a very normal thing. So if you want something to be really colourful, make sure it's got plenty of sunlight. And we use these plants as stock plants or mother plants for our propagation. So we've got lots and lots of really large plants. You're welcome to come and have a look at them. You can see how yours are going to grow, how big they're going to grow, and they're just going to be such fun and pleasure. Now all of these are in containers, so you don't have to grow your succulents in the ground. They can stay permanently in containers. They're a very long-lived plant, and usually you have no trouble with them growing in containers at all. We regularly feed them. We feed them probably once or twice a year with slow-release fertiliser. And before we propagate them, we sometimes give them a liquid feed as well, which just gives them a charge of nutrients before we take cuttings from them. So when we come along and take cuttings, we're just pinching out little pieces like this. So we just take a cutting like that, we take the bottom leaves off, we take the flower off, and then we place this particular cutting just in premium potting mix, I should say, premium potting mix. Cutting mix, you can make your own, or you can buy cutting mix, but it's usually in the form of seed raising mix, which we find is a little bit dry. We like to just propagate them in premium potting mix, and it's just a little bit more moisture retaining. If you let your cuttings dry out too much, then they're not going to strike very quickly. So there we go, a huge range of large succulents for you to come and have a look at, and our open days are held normally on a Friday and Saturday once a month, and all the information is on our website coachwoodnursery.com, and they're a fun day to come to. Thank you.